In today's world of social media and information and choice overload, it's no wonder why customers often say, I need to think about it. There really is too much to think about today. On today's show, we're pleased to welcome back Mr. Matt Easton, who's a sales coach and founder of Easton University, to show you how to help your customers take action and purchase despite being overwhelmed with information and choices, which we all have, Matt. So thank you so much for joining us on the show once again.
Jim, honor, privilege. It's great to be here. We are definitely going to cover how to get these prospects, how to get our customers, how to get our clients to take action because they've got so much information.
That's right.
I might get myself in trouble with my peers in the sales training industry. And you know what, Jim, I'm okay with that because there's something I got to get off my chest.
Go for it.
In my opinion, my observations, I'm seeing about 45% of the sales coaching, about 45% of the sales material out there, about 45% of the sales advice out there is advising people to bully their customers. And I don't mean physically bully them. Grab them by, Jim, you've got to buy this.
Yeah.
I mean intellectual bullying. And intellectual bullying is almost worse, all right? Intellectual bullying does not feel good. Peer pressure does not feel good. So when somebody says, I need to think about it, I want you to think about your sales training, your sales coaching that you've had. Is it some sort of witty, clever comeback? Like, well, you know, when people say I need to think about it, it typically means one of two things. You are intellectually bullying that person in that moment.
Right.
When somebody says, man, you know, I really want to clear this with my wife or my partner or my husband or my business associates, and you say something that's, are you not qualified to make this decision?
Oh,
you know, there's so much coaching out there, and they don't put it together with malice.
Right.
I don't care what the intent is. The outcome is the same. You are intellectually bullying.
Yeah.
You are pressuring
That's right.
your customers.
You're right.
Okay. So if they don't watch any more in this segment, if you work in sales, if you own a business, if you're responsible for people, might be a good idea. You'll get some good karma. But it might be a good idea to take an audit of how you're treating people, because I know you're not intentionally doing it. But when you say things like, hey, you got to do this right now, Jim, or the deal's going to be gone, you're going to lose it. Come on, Jim.
Yeah.
You know this is the right thing for you. You're no different than that guy in 7th grade that was, you know, doing wet willies in my ear and giving me a hard time for having bad shoes.
You're right.
Right? Like,
you're exactly right.
It's not cool.
That's right.
So let's talk a little bit about, I don't think we need to spend too much time on the fact that they do have more information today than they have ever had before. And they do have more choices than they ever have before. And I am of the opinion that when somebody says I need to think about it, I'm going to take them at face value and think they need to think about it, right? I'm going to not sit there and go, this is some sort of Jedi mind trick that they're trying to play on me. I'm just going to treat people the way I want to be treated, right? And I don't want to be tricked, and I don't want to be intellectually bullied, okay? So let's stop it with the intellectual bullying. Let's stop it with the high pressure. Let's stop it with the one-liners. Let's stop it with the clever comebacks. Now, what can we do, okay? First thing, and Jim, you and I have known each other for 3 years. We have talked about this ad nauseum.
Yep.
The first thing you can do is be NSO, next step obsessed. So instead of bullying somebody, well, Jim, you know, when I hear that, it typically means these things. Got it, Jim. What's a good next step then? Right? I'm not sure. What's a good next step for me? Just be next step obsessed. Don't bully.
I love it. You bring them right along with that, and they feel as though it's on their terms, and they're going to give you what the next step is.
Yeah, and here's some more reasons. Here's some more ways that you can avoid being a bully and be more of a friend, be more of an advisor, be more of a consultant. Okay? Sometimes you will avoid the I need to think about it in the end if you slow the process down in the beginning.
Right.
So start conversations like, hey, Jim, I'm so glad you stopped by today, or I'm so glad you're in this meeting. You know, what can I get you information on? Versus going right into your sales pitch, your pressure. Ask the person what you can get them information on. Maybe ask them this, what research have you done on us? Let that person unpack and tell you where they're at. Here's another one that nobody asks. What's most important to you, right? And then actually listen to the answer.
That's right.
Well, why is that, right? Here's a great one. When you're starting a conversation with somebody, if you want to avoid being a bully in the end, Ask this one in the beginning. Hey, Jim, and I'm glad you're here. What's the most important thing that we need to accomplish today?
Yeah.
Hey, Jim,
great.
I'm so glad you took the time to
Yeah.
call me back. What's the most important thing that we need to accomplish together today? That prospect's going to tell you what they need to accomplish.
Sure.
They're going to put you in the best position to where at the end of that conversation, they're not going to say, I need to think about it, because you've had the sales process on their terms.
What if in the event that, because I know there's going to be some salespeople out there and managers that say, well, if I ask them that, and what do you want, what would you like to accomplish here today? And the individual says, I'm really just out shopping, I'm gathering some information, I don't really want to buy anything today. It's kind of a fact-finding mission. Are you locking yourself in as a salesperson to not be able to close that deal today? Because on the outset, that prospect told you, hey, today I'm setting the stage here. When in reality, as we know, a lot of those people can be delivered a product at the an hour later, 2 hours later, 3 hours later, whatever it might be, even though they set the stage to say, just looking, really not interested in buying anything today.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where I would take them at face value and then learn what is their current situation? What do they want to achieve? Why is that important to them? What's their reasons? And then proceed accordingly. And here's the thing, at the end of that call, at the end of that demo, at the end of that presentation, you don't have to ask them to buy. You can ask them if it makes sense. And you and I have talked about that before. Right. It's a lot easier for me to say, hey, Jim, does it make sense? Now, I'm not going to remind you. I'm not going to put myself back in the hole.
Yeah, you're not going to reaffirm their commitment to not buying.
Correct. And by the way, that's not bullying. That's just not being self-deprecating. Right. I'm not going to remind you at the end of that, hey, Jim, I know at the beginning of this wonderful dialogue that we had, you told me you weren't buying today. Right now, now it's like
that's suicide.
It's suicide.
Even
right?
if they wanted to buy, now they think they have to live up to that earlier commitment to go, oh, you're right. Okay, well, let me come back another day.
Here's a great one that nobody talks about. Let me give them my power email that's right out of eastonuniversity.com. Let's say they do need to think about it. Take a couple moments, write an email to them that summarizes this. It's not a sales pitch. There's no PDFs attached. Hey, Jim, just wanted to really appreciate our time today. Wanted to take a quick second and summarize my understanding of your current situation, what's needed, and next steps. One paragraph, maybe 2 sentences in that paragraph. Current situation. You are currently looking for XYZ. The reason why is blank. What's needed? You need blank, blank, blank by when? Next steps. Based on everything you've told me, I'm confident that we've got the solution for you, whatever it is, the vehicle for you, the package for you, the marketing plan for you.
Right.
Does it make sense to get you on board today? Right? Does that match what you need? Did I miss anything? Change your, guys, if you just stop bullying people and start being helpful, they're going to respond because of 2 things. Number 1, you're actually being helpful. Number 2, nobody in the industry acts like this. They're all high pressure and bullying. And in those which by the way is costing you sales. Yeah. Now, if somebody is a very passive person and you are able to emotionally, intellectually bully them and force them into buying, I'm just going to tell you right now, you just cost yourself exponentially more money than you made. Yeah. I repeat that. It's really important. If I intellectually outsmart you into buying, Jim, the world has a way of balancing things out. It's called karma. I'm going to get a cancellation, get a return, get something put on Yelp, get somebody in a Facebook group saying, don't ever buy from those people again. You don't want customers that you forced to buy from you. Even though you're taking in a little bit of revenue and making a commission right now, it will come back to haunt you.
That's right.
Be skillful, be helpful, be a consultant. Don't be an intellectual bully when somebody says, I need to think about it.
Right. I agree with you. Be that next step obsessed. If somebody does say, I need to go home and think about it, and you say, great.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. What are the next steps? What are next steps here? And they say, well, I want to go home. I want to talk to my spouse about this. I want to, do some figuring in terms of math and such, make sure it fits within the budget. What's a good comeback at that?
100%, Jim. I totally get it. It's an important decision. I think we found the right solution for you here. But again, only you can make that decision. I think it's a great idea to talk to them. My mobile, when you get home, if any questions come up, if your spouse has any questions, my mobile 720-660-3202. Even if it's a night, don't worry about waking me up. I turn my phone off. It won't disturb me. Feel free to call me, text me if anything comes up. Otherwise, I'll circle back with you. Let's call it 9:30 tomorrow morning if I haven't heard from you before then. Fair enough?
Yep. Sounds good.
Right? Like, what is wrong with that? And now there's coaches out there that are going to say, if you don't hammer them, they're going to go buy from somebody else.
So there's probably salespeople right now saying, well, if I just loaded that prospect up with numbers, our best price or what we think is our best price, and they walk out the door under the auspices of let me think about it, we fear in any industry that they're going to shop that number. And oh my gosh, if they do that, they're going to probably be able to beat our deal. And then I lost the sale because I loaded them up with all this information, whether we have the product, we don't have the product, what the wait time is going to be, what our best price is, if they're trading something in, what the trade value is, what the interest rate is on the product. And then we've just set this person out there and put them in a position to beat our deal with one of our competitors. I think by and large, I've probably nailed that seems to be a major concern that salespeople have.
And I think it's totally true. And I think it's totally valid. Why? Because we're not slowing the conversation down in the beginning, and we are talking about numbers. It sounds like this. Hey, I just want to let you know, we are the lowest price in the industry. We're the price leader. You've come to the right place because we're lowest price. Just out of curiosity, right? What's the most important thing we need to accomplish today? Right. What now, when you say you're looking for XYZ, can you kind of walk me through some specific examples of why you're looking for that? Right now, when you understand what's going on in that person's life, I'm not saying they can't shop you for the numbers.
Sure.
And it might happen, but I guarantee you that 90+% of the time, they're at least going to call you back and give you and be honest with you because you were honest with them and you had an intellectual conversation. They're going to say, hey, Jim, man, I really appreciate our time yesterday. You nailed it on the fact that like this was my biggest concern, but I have to tell you, I'm talking to Acme and they're saying they can do the same thing for a lower price.
Sure.
This is maybe you'd mirror them the same thing.
That's right.
Well, it's not necessarily the same thing. I mean, they're not able to deliver it in time. Now, wasn't that important to you? Right now, you can have a better conversation. But yes, Jim, they're absolutely right because you can't have one piece of the sales process fixed. I'm going to be NSO. Okay, that will get you about this much lift.
Sure.
You have to fix your whole sales process from beginning to end.
Right.
Now, I said 90%. Do we stand the risk of losing 10% of the deals to people that just shop for price? Yup.
Yeah,
we
do. You always do.
Yeah.
That's nothing shady. In fact, some of those people will take their phone into the restroom for a minute and shop you, even just online. They don't even have to call anybody. They could text another company or they could see online what that product is worth. And
and if you're a sales manager that are teaching your people to do business that way and win business that way, or you're a salesperson or a sales professional that is on a coaching program or learning yourself how to do business that way and win business that way, let me give you a piece of advice. Put your resume together, get it on LinkedIn, and get the heck out of sales. Because we have a little thing called artificial intelligence. We have a little thing called the internet exploding with information.
That's right.
Right? So if you're like, I am just going to be price, pressure, you're not needed. You lost your value 3 years ago because we can go on the website and purchase from the manufacturer if that's the case. If I want to go lowest price, I have a million places I can do it here. They're talking to you for a reason.
That's right.
Focus on what that reason is. Be helpful. Be skillful. Go into your job every day with a positive mindset that my customers are not out to rip me off. My customers are here because they need help.
That's right. And if it's, to your point, if that is done right early in the sale and they feel like they've got a friend or they've just met a friend versus meeting a salesperson, a high pressure salesperson, in many cases, as you know, when somebody says, I want to go home and think about it, it could be translated to, in many cases that I don't like you and I just want to get out of this situation right now.
Yeah,
because
100%.
of the high pressure, because of your tactics, because of your approach with me, the fact that you've asked me 5 times to buy the product. So it could be one of those passes that prospects look for to say, I just want to get out of here. I don't want to think about anything because I'm not buying anything from you. And, and that's because of the way that they were dealt up until that point. Right?
And doubling down with some witty, clever comeback of, oh, come on, you don't really need to think about it. Or, of course you need to think about it. I haven't given you enough to think about. I mean, this is the stuff I hear on social media. Of course, Jim, of course you need to think about it. I haven't given you enough to think about it. Let's head into my office and let me give you the breakdowns and all of the numbers and everything.
Or better yet, when they say, I want to think about it, I want to get with my spouse on this. Great. Here's the phone. Get with her or get with him. And let's put them on speakerphone and we'll do this together.
You don't need to live like this.
No.
You didn't want to be treated like this. And nobody respects people that talk this way.
Right.
Which is why sales is at an all-time low in terms of people don't even want to make this their industry. By the way, greatest career you could ever have. Get in sales.
For sure.
If you want to make 7 figures, you got 2 choices: sports and sales. All right. But you don't have to perpetuate these stereotypes.
That's right.
You don't have to be high pressure. You don't have to intellectually bully people. Here's the other cool thing about slowing down in the beginning, learning about your prospect and being next step obsessed. Guess what you get to do with the rest of your day? Go talk to new prospects, put deals in your pipeline, focus on that, right? Focus on how can I provide value, and your phone will ring off the hook with people that have been referred to you by other customers.
Amen.
And then guess what? Yeah, you don't really care. If Jim doesn't buy right now, I don't care.
Right.
Because I have 5 other deals that are coming in today. And the last thing I want to do, I would rather have Jim be like, man, Matt was not a fit. The solution wasn't right for me, but that guy has integrity.
Yep.
That is the business that if I was in the market for what they were selling, that's where I want to go. I would trade that for a sale any day of the week.
Yeah. Very good point. Very good point. This is why you're one of the nation's leading sales trainer and coaches out there. Matt Easton, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We very much appreciate it. As I said, our viewers get so much out of your visits with us here, so thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. This was great stuff today. For salespeople and managers that are listening and small business owners, this is so true out there. You don't want to bully your prospect before they buy. It's no way to make a sale. So Matt, thanks so much.
No way to live. It's no way to live.
Right.
Right?
Exactly right.
I love you, Jim. I hope I can get invited back soon, and whatever you guys need, you're the best network out there. Deal me in. I'm happy to help.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim.